Hi there, this is the Van Essen trap from the game Mark Van Essen against Malcolm Duff in 1945 in Long Beach, USA. It's a beautiful trap, but sadly it's slightly flawed, as we shall see. It's in the center game, e4, e5, and d4 the center game. Black takes, white recaptures with the queen, and the natural knight c6 will send the queen back to its usual square in this variation to e3. So after queen e3, there's some decent moves here for black. g6 is the most popular. Bishop b4 check. But a good alternative to these is this move b6. It makes a lot of sense as it aims to fianchetto the queen's bishop, as well as covering the c5 square for the king's bishop to come out and hit the queen. And this move has been played by Polgar, amongst others. So after b6, white plays knight c3, and bishop c5 hits the queen, which swings over to g3, targeting the pawn now on g7. And white's already actually doing better in this position, and certainly after g6, white is in fact losing. The winning move here, which I was surprised to see not played as many times as it has, knight d5, totally winning now for white. If black plays a move like d6, then bishop g5 was played in the game Van Essen against Duff, but better would have been queen c3. That's winning straight away, because if now f6, which defends the rook under fire on h8, then b4 simply wins a piece for white. Simple win. But Van Essen failed to see queen c3, played bishop g5, which hits the queen. And now there's three possibilities. If queen d7 by black to defend the queen, then bishop f6 hitting the rook, and if knight takes f6, knight takes f6, that's check queen, forking the queen and winning for white. If knight ge7, then white's going to win with knight f6, check hitting the king, and king f8, bishop h6 is mate. So after bishop to g5, f6 is black's best defense. Now the queen c3, it's still probably winning, but less effective than it was before. The queen on c3 targeting f6, so black's going to play knight to e5, blocking that diagonal. And now if b4 is played, looks pretty good for white. However, black can do okay with bishop takes on f2 check, giving up the bishop after king takes f2. c6 covers the threat of knight c7, which was also on the cards. So we've got now two of white pieces are being targeted, the knight on d5 and the bishop on g5, and black here is actually doing better. So it's not too serious a trap. After knight e5, b4 was played. If black misses his chance with bishop takes f2 and plays f takes on g5, then we have quite a delectable finish. B takes on c5. And if b takes on c5, now knight f3. More pressure on the knight here, with the rook under fire. And if the knight goes back to f7, defending the rook on h8, knight takes on g5, removing the guard, if you like, because if knight takes, then we've got queen takes on h8. Why not queen takes g5 as I'm looking at this? Why doesn't that work? Well, we've got knight takes on c7. That's going to be winning for white. So if knight h6, then bishop b5 check. That's going to force the bishop to interpose bishop d7. And now a lovely move, knight e6, hitting the queen, taking advantage of the fact that the bishop now on d7 is pinned. Well, the queen's moving over to c8. And now queen f6. That's threatening checkmate on e7. So how does black defend that? The knight from h6 drops back now to g8 to defend e7. And now queen e7 anyway, forcing knight takes on e7, and knight f6 is a beautiful checkmate. So this has been the Van Essen trap in the center game. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.